Greetings, passengers. This is your captain, Foxpresso speaking. We're currently cruising at an altitude of 30,000 feet. Please keep your seatbelt snug low, woo and tight across your lap as we encounter some turbulence.
Welcome to episode 4 of Con-ventional Wisdom, and this one is a bit of a doozy. If you can see, we're at the airport. I presume that you've already stored your carry-on in the overhead bins or under your seat, and that your very same seat is upright. Arguably, flying is the fastest option to most major furry cons. What takes 8 hours in a car is 1 hour on a plane. Just zoom. It's also one of the most hectic, stressful, and all around the one with the most hoops to jump through. For instance, who do I fly? Where's the best place to find deals? What can I bring? How do I check a bag? How do I not get bagged out?
What are the plane flags? Blah blah. What a blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah.
So, I used to fly a lot for work, so I'm familiar with how things go and will do my best to explain the ins and outs of taking a giant flying Thailand to a convention. First things first, let's address some airline myths. Look at a Tuesday for cheapest fares. Sites like Expedia and Kayak hack the airlines for deals. Aim for the cheapest possible ticket. Southwest is the best. For the most part, these are false. There's no perfect day to book your trip as airfares are more influenced by supply and demand than anything else. While there is no perfect day to book your trip, prices tend to be the most ideal 2 months out for domestic flights. For best results on fare estimates, go to Google Flights and set fare alerts for the days you wish to travel, so you can be updated in case of airfare changes. Speaking of, what website has the best deals? Honestly, the airline's official website itself. While you may find a great bargain on Expedia, Kayak, and the like, cheapest is not often the best. Let me explain. Online travel agencies, or OTAs like Expedia and Kayak, while good for finding prices, do hide a lot of information that would help you make a more informed decision. The price you usually see is a highly restricted basic economy fare, which, on some airlines, prevents you from bringing on more than just a backpack. In addition, booking this fare prevents you from making any changes, and for some airlines, you won't be helped if something goes wrong. Booking directly on the airline will show you the main cabin, or economy cost, usually around $20 or $30 more than basic. This is a common issue on ultra-low-cost carriers like Spirit, Frontier, and Allegiant, where the price you see on these online travel agencies only gets you on a plane and everything else from seat selection to bags. Bigger than a backpack, or even bringing on a second bag, to even checking in at the airport or booking online costs extra. Change booking settings on these OTAs to reflect main fare or ultra-low-cost add-ons. There's still a major caveat when using them. OTAs are more of a middleman that collects your information and then sends it over to the airlines, not unlike a game of telephone. Some items, such as seat preferences to important information like names and email addresses, may not be transferred over. As a result, you won't be aware of any changes to your flight, and if anything were to go wrong, the airline can't do anything to help you, as I see it was booked as an agency and not in your name, leaving you to play a finger-pointing ping-pong between both the OTA and the airline in order to get you to where you need to go. So what should one do with all this in mind? If you want to get a good idea for how much a flight will cost, go to Google Flights. They're not a travel agency as much as a search engine that pulls the published airfare data. On Google Flights, you can play with the tools such as how much baggage you need, what times you prefer, any connections or non-stops you like, and any airline preferences if you're part of a rewards program. Once you're done filtering to the flights, you can see the average fare and set fare alerts to be emailed of any price changes. The best part, when you're ready to book, Google will redirect you to the airline's website itself, so you will be directly booking there. No middleman, no fuss. Speaking of fees, I've included a table below in the description box showing every major US and Canadian airline. Feel free to review and make an informed choice from there.
But wait, what's this? There's an airline with no baggage fees? No basic economy? Why don't we just do this magical airline called Southwest? Well, yes. If you bring a lot of fursuits, then Southwest is perfect, given that checked bags are included in the cost of the ticket. Notice how I said included and not free there? Notice that you can only book Southwest flights on their website? I mean, sure, you can see them pop up on Google Flights, but notice how you don't see any of the flight times, let alone the prices, alongside everyone else? If we pull data from Southwest and Google Flights for the same day, with baggage fees added, you can see that Southwest can come up costing more. Also, because of the way Southwest operates, you may end up making multiple stops or connections before you even get to your destination. So what do I do if I want to fly nonstop? What options do I have? Well, it really depends on where you live and what con you're going to. For instance, a select number of conventions are located in airline hubs, meaning you'd have no trouble finding a nonstop to MFF on American or United, with whom they share Chicago O'Hare as a hub. And if you're going to Furry Week in Atlanta, I hope you enjoy flying Delta. A good way to see what airlines offer nonstops from your home airport is by looking it up on Wikipedia and then scrolling down to the Airlines and Destinations section. For your own reference, I've linked a list of hubs and focus cities below, as well as what airlines are ideal for nonstops to a select number of furry conventions. So, you booked your flight and are all set to go for the con? What happens next? There is a lot that goes involved with air travel beyond just finding a good deal, and that is more than enough to cover reasonably within a video. So what I want to do is I'm going to be splitting up this series into multiple videos. Up next, I want to talk about steps that you need to do to get ready before a flight after you booked your tickets, as well as what to do on the flight itself, as well as some additional items to consider or even purchase before going on your flights. So how about you? How do you usually book your flight? What strategies do you usually go for? Please leave a comment down below, and I look forward to reading it on the next video. If you like the series and want to keep up on the latest videos, please subscribe and give a like to feed the almighty algorithm.
Good evening, passengers. Thank you for watching this video. This journey has been brought to you by the Foxpresso Coffee Club, but more on that later. First, let's take a look at our comments. Joe G. Bear said, "Foxpresso, I'm glad he did this." Well, thank you. That means a lot to hear. Joshua Johnson said, "Excellent video. One thing I would add in Flex vs. Greyhound is that Greyhound tends to have more legroom, and FlexBus tends to be more packed. Both have power outlets and you can rely on them working. There's also Amtrak if you have some place you can lay over or stay depending on the train schedule." Thank you for the comment, and good points about Flex vs. Greyhound. They just seem like the same to me. And as for Amtrak, more on that later. BetBLT said, "Entertaining and informative. Folks from outside the US often don't realize just how big and spread out our metro areas are from each other. It's exciting." And yes, I have to agree with that. I cannot tell you how many times when I lived in California that people from out of the country think that San Francisco is just a day visit from LA. It's huge. And now we have a special offer just for you now that you're a captive audience inside this journey, courtesy of the Foxpresso Coffee Club. By joining, you gain access to unique content that you otherwise wouldn't be available directly here on YouTube. Be it outtakes, deleted scenes, works in progress, or just random B footage that would otherwise mess up the algorithm. In addition, just for this series alone, there will be some exclusive content regarding this specific topic that would just be too much to fill within this short time span of a video. So please, feel free to join for just $9 a month. It's basically 2 small lattes at coffee.com/Foxpresso or patreon.com/Foxpresso. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video.